Have you been thinking about adding a green space to your home, whether that be indoors or outdoors? Have you previously struggled with keeping your plants alive? Well, I have the perfect guest for you today, where we're going to be discussing everything for living green walls. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Jonathan with Andromeda District. I couldn't be more excited to be sitting down with you. We've known each other for a while now. Actually, back in, I believe it was 2013, you first launched your business in the home shows. And ever since, you've only built, evolved, and it's incredible to see how your business has really, become what it is today. So I just wanted to kind of dive in just to start things off a little bit. We all know we're going through some incredibly difficult times. For every business, whether it's individually, professionally, a lot of us have been forced to kind of, rediscover who we are and really reinvent our businesses to move forward. Just to touch on, how has it affected you guys, and what are you doing to, obviously reach out to the market more and, educate the market?
Yeah, so it definitely has affected us tremendously as many businesses, many industries. But what we have done is a little bit of two things. We have learned to adapt and also reinvent our business. I think that one of the main things that jumps out from all of this crisis is that nature is here to at the service of people. Natural spaces have helped us through many difficult times, dealing with anxiety, dealing with stress, dealing with crisis, essentially. And so for us, it has been a change of focus, where we actually become more, in essence, more at the service of the community, and, trying to, find ways where we can actually be more of enriching our community. We don't necessarily are focused on the sale per se. We are more focused on how can we help and how can our product can be of service to the community here in Miami and anywhere. So that's kind of our focus, and we have been doing great. We like where we are, and it's been a great honor to be part of Andromeda District, and especially because it's a new generation of green living. New generations are looking at green spaces very differently from our parents and grandparents. So it's been great. It's been good. It's just adapting to a new normal, but at the same time, not shying away from the problems or anything, but if anything, confronting them and aiding, our community to, overcome this.
Absolutely. And I mean, all those points are incredible. And it's a lot of things that people really have to kind of step out of their comfort and really start looking at, their approach of life and approach of business differently. Yeah. But, you touched on a few things that I just kind of wanted to ask. Andromeda District, it represents a lot of things to you, obviously to me, and the market who are already familiar with you. But for those of you who are not familiar, for those of us that are not familiar, what is Andromeda District? I know that you have a rich family history of agriculture. I'd like to, what is your vision, and, what does Andromeda District truly stand for?
Yeah, so we are manufacturers of green wall systems. We essentially create and manufacture the components that are needed for a green wall, as you can see here in the back, my background. And we specialize in the installation and maintenance of these systems. And so at the core, we are, we have been in the business of agriculture, like you mentioned, since our ancestor. We have about 120, 130 years that we can trace back, where our ancestors were actually, very focused on growing their own food, growing their own plants, and have this kind of food sovereignty kind of mentality, where everything that, the land produces is what we have, and, that's it. And so this, evolved into a planter business. Right. So, what we were doing was essentially plant holders. And the problem that we had with planters is that, planters can only hold one plant.
Right.
So we have a container that holds only one plant. And so, little by little, we started to see, engineers, architects, interior designers, and just regular people. They will come to us and say, how can we, just increase the greenery and decrease the container size? And especially right now with climate change and so many things happening. So we decided to take that knowledge of growing plants and growing food and essentially creating a system that we patented. And it's a system that is made of fiberglass.
Okay. And this is for the living green wall.
Exactly. So we evolved from, manufacturing plant holders to actually green wall systems.
Right.
And
so, I'm just looking at the green wall behind you. It's incredible how full it is. And, just looking at that, I know for myself, I personally have had a tough time keeping plants alive, and a lot of people out there can probably relate. Yeah. This plant behind me has lasted the longest for me so far, but there's a lot of challenges with keeping plants alive. And I think something that's important is, what goes into, whether it's irrigation, whether it's installation, choosing the right plants. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so basically going into creating this system are three major things where cost effectiveness, low maintenance, basically, and also something that was really durable and we can actually guarantee for lifetime.
Oh, wow.
And so those were the three major things, right? Going into engineering this system. And so as you can see here, the plants do great. We use, just a typical sprinkler irrigation. It's a drip irrigation system. It's a smart system that we connect to a timer. Our clients don't have to worry about anything. The system waters all the plants by itself. And that's pretty much it. If you could see here in the background, we have this green wall system has been installed already for 3 years. And in average, we do one detailed maintenance per year. So it's really, very low in maintenance. As you can see here, the growth of the plants is beautiful. You can even see some shine to the leaves.
Yeah.
And that, they're very healthy. They love it here. What we do, and this goes to anybody out there, what we make sure that we do is that we bring plants to spaces that match the condition of that space. So if you have a plant, if you have a lot of sun in that space, you're gonna make sure the plants that you bring match that condition.
Absolutely. And when selecting the plants, obviously certain plants do better in climates. Speaking about, I know that it can be applied indoors as well. And, how does it vary between indoor and outdoor when, installing a plant system like this? You mentioned the irrigation, obviously sunlight is a big factor, drainage for that matter, but, compared to indoor to outdoor, what can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so what we do is the tolerance. Essentially, you have a plant in your background there, and that plant is really resilient to, it can take AC, it can take, a lot of very harsh conditions that are in the interior space. And so, it's great that you have, it looks like you're really good with the plant. But what I want to say is that, the same plants that we use in interior spaces are not, of course, they're not the same as the exterior. Right. And the exterior can be on the shade too, but we have to, know, do we have, AC? Do we have, how is the water going to evaporate? Okay, right. So how easy is that going to happen? Do we have a drain connection? And so these are, concerns, but for us, it's very simple. We only require 3 things, which is a wall, a water feed, and a drain connection, and we take care of the rest. For everybody out there, it's just, if you have a space, just make sure that you look at how that plant, and you do your research and understand if that plant is going to tolerate, the conditions of that space before you get it. Okay,
but that's part of what you guys do. You guys, with all of the knowledge, you simplify the process.
Right.
as far as talking about, adding greenery, I know changes the perspective of a lot of people's lives. Yeah, indoor, outdoor, it just adds a different form of life. What are some of the benefits that somebody can achieve? I hear about, all of the harmony, and a lot of interior designers are including a lot of natural life, natural elements into designing spaces, whether that's indoors or outdoors. What are some benefits to, these living green walls?
So I'm going to talk to you about benefits with data. Okay. So let's say in New York, we have high schoolers that are, when they use and apply greenery in their spaces, the retention rate for students is a lot higher, meaning there is a lot less, people dropping out of school. Why? Because of course they are looking at something grow and they have that harmony, that connection with that plant. And so it does something to our spirit. Another one is if, cancer patients go to chemotherapy, if after the chemotherapy, they are exposed to a plant system like this, or just greenery in general, the bounce rate from that chemotherapy, the healing process is a lot faster when we are exposed to that. And I could go on and on and on and on. The benefits for human beings is just, they have been there for a lot of time. We are just coming to grasp with the actual data that is showing us, how much, an office worker has a lot more productivity, about 8% or 10% more productive if you have a green wall system or plants around your desk. So, the sense of well-being of people just changes when they're exposed to natural places like this. And those are, a lot of the benefits that we have in terms of that. But there is also a return on investment. So if you invest in plants or in greener spaces, you bet that you're going to get that return. Either you can, even if you quantify it, or you cannot, but you will get those returns over time. And, those are one of the many benefits, dealing better with anxiety, helping you reduce stress, just to name a few, okay? Right. Because if we just focus on that right now, we're gonna go on for 2 hours if we could talk about just the benefits. But anyway, the last one is real estate. The real estate sees about 20% improvement, and also 20% of value in real estate when you have systems like this. So
right, and also, I mean, obviously the health benefit, aesthetics, everything, but I mean, it's a piece of art. I've seen some of the images that you guys have installed in commercial projects, home projects. I mean, if anyone has a blank wall or something that they're trying to figure out what to do, I mean, considering a green wall would be an incredible option, as the beauty, the sophistication, it's just completely different from just putting, another piece of artwork on your wall.
Thanks. Right on. Exactly.
Just to reiterate on, should I have any concern as far as buildup of mold, mildew? I see other installations, that are more so vine related, and they adhere to the walls of homes, and, it's not always great, the best for the foundation. I mean, as far as the way that your product is installed, do I have any concern?
It's a very good question, and I'm glad that you asked, because you should have those concerns, regardless if it's us or anybody else. But I want to tell you about our system, and our system is a panel-based system that is waterproof, and it's made of fiberglass. So it takes about 40 years for fiberglass to decompose.
That's a good amount of time.
Now we guarantee the system for lifetime, right? So lifetime for us is 20 years. But what happens is that so we don't have to be concerned about mold or things like that, because the panels completely isolate the concrete. Okay. And first we waterproof the concrete, we install the panels, one panel connects with the next, so it creates almost like a waterproof grid. And after that has been installed, then we run the irrigation. The water only touches the fiberglass. It's not touching none of the concrete or any of that. So we make sure that we conceal everything. Okay. We seal all the seams, everything. And, once it's all waterproof, it's good to go. We have systems that have been installed already for 10 years. Wow. You mentioned here in Miami, we started commercializing back in 2013, but we have systems here in Florida. In some cases, it's 5, 6, 7 years, and they're beautiful, they're growing, and people love it. The homeowners really love it.
So, I mean, thinking about, adding the green wall, I know that you guys, consultations and going through the design process, selecting the right plants, you guys have it down to a science. But for a homeowner, like I mentioned before, everything is intimidating when it comes to improving your home and, cost factor or aesthetics or how long does it last, things like that. It's simplifying. It is plants. It's a living organism. They're meant to survive in different types of elements. What would be the first step, if somebody wanted to get a consultation from you? Like, how do they approach? I mean, obviously you have a website. What are the steps to get a consultation, and what are the tips as far as the process for what a homeowner should do to really do the research?
Right. So really that has been our homework for the last few years. Is to really tell not just homeowners, but industries and designers, architects, everyone, these are systems, at least the way that we do it is simple. That perception that, oh my God, this is going to be so difficult and I cannot handle that and it's too much. No, we take care of everything. These are systems that are installed. We can install about 1,000 square feet of greenery in 1 or 2 days. Okay, let's say 2 days. It's three easy steps, and really that's all there is to it. We bring a render to you that you can approve. We go back and forth with you, of course, on that design and the plan selection. But once we have those two approved, then everything is just smooth and it flows beautifully. What we need in terms of consultation, the only thing you can do is essentially send us an email to livingwalls@andromedadistrict.com. And if you have, let's say, a design that you like and something that if your home is more in the modern line, then we can do something and propose a green wall that's more modern. If you're more into the jungle, tropical feel, then we can do something more like this palette right back here. And it really just depends. If you have a home that it's more, a style that's more like an Italian style, then we have different plan selection to enhance that experience of that home. Right. And so for consultations, you can email us or call us, and that's pretty much the first step. We set up an appointment, and if we cannot come to your home, you could just send us a picture of the space, and we can create a render and study the lighting in that space with that picture.
Okay. Yeah. And as far as, we've reviewed a lot today. Is there anything in particular that we haven't touched on that, you'd like to make sure that we include to really educate everybody?
What I want to, really make sure that everybody know is that, that we can take down the perception about green walls, that it's something unattainable, that is something that we cannot reach. No, yes, you can. You can, little by little, even if you're buying only one plant, you can build up your own temple, your own natural sanctuary. And, these systems are here to stay. We are not going anywhere. As you can see, the science is showing us that this is really the way that all the cities project that they will look like in years to come, decades to come. Right. So no, yes, me and my next generation, my kids are gonna be here working on this. So what I want to say is that this is not going anywhere. And so, what we could do is just, perhaps, bring down that perception that this is something unattainable. We want to just say this is installed in 3 easy steps, is done in 1 day or 2, depending on the size. And it's simple to maintain. This green wall here in the back is 3 years old. And it looks great. Look at the shine and the leaves. It's just really healthy and amazing. Yeah,
absolutely.
So yeah, that's what I really want to say. It's simple. It's simple, and it's not a major,
Right. No, you went over it all. Plants are here to stay. They've been around longer than us. You know, at the end of the day, not only are living green walls for commercial properties, but they're for residential. They're for, you know, any type of homeowner. It doesn't matter to the scale of your property, but not only are you improving the aesthetics of commercial, of residential, but you guys are improving the livelihood and what our lives are, and live them better. So, you know, at the end of the day, I can only thank you for all of the information that you provided today. You know, you've heard it. I mean, this is meant to be simple, and it's meant to beautify our homes. And, you know, as far as your easy steps, I can't wait to see how, you know, all the homeowners will evolve their own homes and their spaces, add greenery. But, you know, I want to just reiterate, visit Jonathan and his team at AndromedaDistrict.com. Until next time, I want to thank everyone for tuning in again for At Home with the Home Show. Until next time, you can always check us out on our website at homeshows.net or at FL Home Shows. And Jonathan, you have one more thing?
Yeah, I just want to say green walls can be also used to, you know, for, you know, increase the butterfly population or bees, you know, and just, you know, bring more nature into your spaces. So at the end of the day, you can do something green, but you can go with something like flowers and orchids. You are the artist. Essentially, our system is just a canvas, and you are the artist.
Absolutely. And Jonathan, thank you again for everything. You know, as far as green wall design, it should be in every space. But until next time, again, you know, check us out on our website at homeshows.net. You can follow us at FL Home Shows, and definitely make sure everyone checks out Jonathan and his team, as they have so much to offer. And, you know, just educate yourself and why, you know, plants and green life should exist in your homes. Thanks again, Jonathan.
Thank you, Adam.